Hello, everybody. Morning, afternoon, evening to everybody who's logged in from across the world. This is Pratigya Haran inviting you to the last weekend of the Chennai Storytelling Festival 2025. As you know, we've had a series of 12 story sessions for adults, and this is the ninth one. And today, we are starting a little earlier because we have a teller, Sowmya Srinivasan from Coimbatore, for a very happy reason, a very positive reason. She was unable to stick to her original schedule. And so Eric decided to reschedule her here and accommodate her here. So we welcome you, Sowmya, to this session here. Let me just spotlight you. Please unmute yourself, introduce yourself fully, and share a story with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. I hope I am not too loud and screechy, which is always the worry of a storyteller. Want my voice to be heard, but not to be so loud and in your face. Well, the story I've chosen comes all the way from Assam. And let's get a feel of this land through a song that I'm going to sing with you, sing for you. Hosti konna bomonero nari matai niyatam koloshiyo shaki hoste sonar jhari sakiyo o murahai hasti konnayo kane kudoyanai Mahutok lagi ayo Hosti konna Bamoneru nari Matai niyatam koloshiyo Shoki hoste shona dhari shakiyo O murahai hastir konayo kane kudoyanai mahu tok lagi ayo mahu tok lagi ayo. This song was born from a legend. The legend of Joy Mala, the elephant queen. The song says, "O elephant girl, holding a copper pitcher in your hand and a water sprinkler on the other hand, why do you not pity me, your mahout, who has left everything to be here with you, to take care of you? Why don't you take pity on me, O elephant girl? Hostir Konna." Who is this Hostir Konna? Who is this elephant girl? To know her, we have to travel into the legend that comes from Assam, the legend of Joy Mala. At the foothills of Bhutan, in the north of Assam, rivers pristine flow, forests filled with the cacophony of animals surround villages of Goalpara. And the people of Goalpara tell us of this girl who was born in their land, who lived here in their villages. But before that, let's just imagine this world. The river flowing, beautiful, pristine and joyous, calm. The forest filled with mango, sal, bamboo thickets, filled with animals. You have the langurs, you have the hogs, the deers, and of course, the animal that one cannot ever separate from these people, the elephants. In that village, along this river and the forest, there lived a man, Joyant. The people were simple. They got timber and food from the forest, water from the river. But where do they go for their spiritual needs? They went to Joyant. He was a priest. He was an erudite scholar. He could chant the mantras. He could say all that was needed for them, and the words felt like sweet honey in their ears. He did the puja, he did the festivals, he did the marriage ceremonies, and even the last rites. It is said a man is nothing without a woman, especially a priest. And he was ably assisted by the incomparable Joymala. She was devoted to Jayant. Everything that he needed for his rituals, for whatever he needed to do, she provided for him. It was fetching water from the river or spinning the thread on the spinning wheel for the sacred thread that was used in the ceremonies. It was all done by Joymala. You could see her carrying her copper pitcher in one hand and the spout laden sprinkler in the other, and going to the river. There she would fetch the water for Joyant. Life was peaceful. Between her devotion for Joyant and her attachment to the wild, to the forest, to the wilderness around, this was all Joymala knew. She was an orphan, and so for her the forest was her mother. She would often enter the forest to speak to the animals, to share whatever food that she got with them. Maybe rice for the elephants, fruits and vegetables for some of the other animals. And she considered the forest her kith, her kin, her relatives, her brothers, her sisters. They were all in the forest for Joymala. And life was such a peaceful movement between devotion and love for the wilderness. But soon that peaceful, calm river became turbulent. It started seething, and a whirlpool emerged in the center of that river. People said, "Don't go there. Don't enter the river. There's a whirlpool there. It has suddenly turned into such a monstrous creature. It will swallow you. Don't go into the river. Don't go there." But people needed water. They needed water to live and survive. Then they found that Joymala, if she approached the water, it calmed down. And so they sent Joymala to fetch water from the river, especially Jayant, who needed that water for his rituals. But every time Joymala turned her back to the river, it seethed and churned, and the whirlpool became bigger and bigger. Almost like her life. For you see, Jayant, who was filled with such piety, who was a priest, was called one day to complete the last rites of the village headman. And there, the widow of the village headman, her eyes fell on Jayant. Her daughter was still unmarried, and a plan formed in her mind. What if I get Jayant married to my daughter? She would not have to leave this village or the riches. Everything can be kept here. And Jayant is the most eligible. So what if he's married? And so she put ideas into the head of her daughter, who became the other woman. Slowly, the other woman spoke kind words to Jayant. You'll have a life of ease, comfort. I can give you anything. Why don't you see me as your wife? Why don't you marry me? What? But I'm already married, and I have a wife who is so devoted to me, who does whatever I need. I'm not looking for another wife. But the web was cast. The web was thrown over Jayant, and slowly and surely he was pulled with words, with gifts, with all the enticement that the other woman could give him. And slowly Jayant was seduced into accepting her. He returned to his hut, took the mekla chador that had been gifted to his wife Joymala, took her necklace, took her ring, and walked out of the hut to gift it to the other woman. In return, she sat him on a wooden bench outside their mansion, anointed him with sandalwood, placed garlands around his neck, and held his hand and walked inside her mansion. They went around the fire. They tied their thumbs with the kusha grass and proclaimed themselves husband and wife. The two walked in this attire, in this bridal attire. In the groom, Jayant, and the other woman walked to the hut where Joymala stood, aghast, tears pouring down from her eyes. And as she saw them walking towards her, she fled. She fled from there. She knew she had to get away. And she fled into the forest to throw herself into the lap of nature, her mother, her everything. She knew she would be protected by nature, by the trees, by the animals, by the leaves, by the flowers. More protected here than there. As she cried and sobbed, the animals gathered around her. They could sense her pain, her grief. The elephant herds approached and stood guard, protecting her. They could feel her pain. Joymala returned to the village and saw how her husband and the other woman were growing in prosperity. Their mansion was filled with things, with people, with maids and servants and helpers and guards, people to serve. He grew in prosperity, and he grew in his love, his affection for the other woman. And all she could do was just watch. Yet he needed her for one thing. Nobody could approach that river. So he needed her to fetch water for all his duties and for all his priestly work. So he gave her a golden jhari, a golden sprinkler and a copper pot to fetch water. That is the only time Joymala saw Jayant. As she picked that copper pitcher from his hand and the golden jhari, the sprinkler, she held it in her hand and walked towards the seething river. She stood at the edge of the river, looking at herself, looking at her reflection in the water that refused to calm down. Tears poured from her eyes. They mingled with the water and flowed downstream. As that water flowed downstream, on the other bank of the river, a herd of elephants stood with their leader, Dantal. Dantal change in the river. What ails this river? What ails? Why does it churn? Why does it seethe? Why a whirlpool? And when he put his trunk into the water, he could feel its salty nature. What ails this river? Why this salt? And then all the companions that stood around Dantal the elephant trumpeted, and in one voice they said, "These are the tears of Joymala. Joymala grieves. Joymala cries." The river weeps over cobblestones. Tears stream down as a single path. The earth grieves, for Joymala stands alone. Hearing this, the elephant Dantal jumped into that raging river. It made its way across to where Joymala stood on the edge. She was still standing, staring at herself and weeping. Dantal trumpeted again. "Come with us, Joymala, come. Leave these humans, they don't deserve you. Come with us. Come, become us. Come, be with us." Joymala heard Dantal. She understood what he meant, what he was asking of her. But how does one leave all that one has known? How does one leave everything that was what she had grown up with? How should I let go of this human greed that enslaves every soul? Should I step into this water? Should I step into the unknown and change and transform into another? But before these thoughts could even finish, these thoughts could even emerge or come out of her as words, Dantal blew into the river. He blew so hard the river overflowed its banks, flowed and swept away the huts, the mansion, and every being on that land, leaving only Joymala at the edge of the river. He scooped her up, placed her on his head, turned and stepped back into that raging river, made its way across towards the forest on the other side. With his companions, Dantal, the leader, walked with Joymala, walked for 9 days and 9 nights till they reached the very center of the forest, where he placed Joymala on a throne, an ivory throne, and he said, Go, my companions, find 7 rivers with 7 waters, bring them here, and let us transform her." And so the elephants traveled in 7 directions, and they brought water in their trunk. And when they poured it on Joymala, 7 colors emerged, 7 streams of water emerged and soaked her, poured water all over Joymala. When the water touched her body, the copper pitcher changed into her forehead. It merged and became the elephant forehead. The sprinkler with a spout merged into her face and changed into her trunk. Joymala rose as an elephant and trumpeted as she trumpeted, the elephants that had gathered, thousands of them, trumpeted in one voice, and Dantal said, "You have become one of us. Come, come, let your voice be heard. Let us be heard together in harmony as one." And they trumpeted in one voice in harmony and walked from there. And right in front was Joymala, the queen, the elephant. She had transformed, and she led the entire herd through the forests and everywhere, wherever her steps took her, wherever her voice had to be heard. And it is said by the people of Goalpara, from that day onwards, only a she-elephant will lead a herd, and it is Joymala who is the queen of all elephants. Hosti kona, bamona re nari, matai niya tom koloshiyu, shoki hoste, shonar jhari sakiyu, o murahai haste kona re, kane ko doyanai, mahu tok lagiya re, mahu tok lagiya re. Thank you.
Wow, such a beautiful story and wonderful singing. Thoroughly loved it, Sowmya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you say the story is from Assam?
Yes, it is from Assam. It's a folk tale from Assam, and there is an eco-feminist angle to it. This is an original story. I have just added embellishments, and this shows the connection of nature with the feminine, and the symbolism of the story is very powerful and brings out the sense of the woman or the feminine being able to share her voice, to be that elephant, to trumpet and to share their voice. Yeah,
that's a powerful one, to be able to share your voice. And I think most women struggle to do that. Unfortunately, we are still in a society where it's not always possible. It's always heartening to know that there's a story which, gives you that encouragement to open up and share your voice.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Sowmya.
Opening
it out to the anybody in the audience who wants to share your thoughts? Yes, Veena, please go ahead.
Sowmya, first of all, I must tell you, it was a delight to hear your story. I'm from Assam. It's a Goalpara Lukogit, and I give you 100 out of 100 for singing that Goalpara Lukogit, Hosti Koina. And I'm going to compliment you in Assamese. Oti hundor hoise. Tomar golpo oti hundor hoise.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It means so much
to me. It's a very famous story, and really, you sang it very well and loved it so much. Thank you so much.
If I may add, Veena, Sowmya managed to learn that song, I think, in half a day.
Yeah. No, not really well, but I wish I was going to play the audio, but then, yeah. So I had to learn the song.
No, it's commendable because it's not so easy to sing a Lukogit, actually, Goalpara Lukogit.
So thank you, Veena. Thank you.
Veena, can you tell us what is a Lukogit? I've not heard of that phrase before. What exactly does it mean?
It's a different sort of song where you sing about the places and everything. There's a very famous Pratima Pandey, very famous, who's very famous for singing on this song. As you have different type of songs, Okay. So they're Bongeet, Assamese, modern songs. So there's a genre of different kinds.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. That reminds me, this is a song sung by Kalidas Gupta, and he has sung with Pete Seeger. I was so amazed to know that He has
Right.
sung with Pete Seeger. He's a folk singer from Assam, Kalidas Gupta, and he has sung with Pete Seeger, which was mind blowing and lovely, beautiful tunes.
Yeah, there's a certain tune, a haunting sort of, the music when they play together.
Lovely. Oh, I can see a lot of people, and let's just go in the order that I saw. Debjani, maybe then Harita, and then Jnana.
I sorry. I actually wanted to say sorry that because of certain thing, I joined little late and
Debjani, you are very feeble. Can you speak louder for us, please?
yeah, sure. Now can you hear?
A little better.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that I got late in joining and I missed the initial part of it. Can you hear, Sowmya? Is it audible? Yeah. And I'll catch up with the rest. And Veena ji, I belong to a place which is close to yours. I'm a Bengali, you are Assamese, so we are neighbors.
Yes, yes,
And Loco Gate is Loco Giti in Bengali. That
yes,
means the folk songs.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one I think has a little bit Bengali version also. So it's beautiful, the song.
yes.
Thanks for that, Debjani. Thanks. Yes, Harita, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Pratikya. Thank you, Soumya. I loved listening to you. I especially right from the start, and now and then the surprising trumpeting sounds, and what a clear and a neat description of each scene. I really loved it. Thanks for sharing the story. It is a new story for me. I loved it, Soumya.
Thank you, Harita. Yes, Jnana, I can see you were very excited when Soumya was singing. Please go ahead.
It's a very new story for me. And I love that you sing. I love the colors of the river and the beautiful colors and the imagery.
7 chakras.
7 chakras, yeah. And
More than that.
I need to say that when I tell a story, I sing a short song before and after, because Pete Seeger is my mentor. I met him and I worked with him a little bit, but I've always loved Pete Seeger. So to hear people say that they love and appreciate him is good. It's good.
Can you translate a little bit the song in English because you sing in your language, but I'm missing the.
Yes, like I said in the beginning, it's Elephant Girl, with the copper pitcher and the sprinkler in your hand. Why can't you take pity on me? I am your Mahut. I have left everything and everybody to come and take care of you. Why don't you take pity on me? So this is a Mahut is singing this song, but this is the song refers to the elephant girl, Hoter Konya. So that the elephant girl.
Hostir Konya. Hostir
Hostir
Konya.
Konya.
Little bit of Assamese looks like we can understand if we know a little bit of Hindi, because there's a Kanya and there's a Hathi. So yeah, now that you translate it, now we can connect the words and understand the meaning better. So maybe I'll go back to the recording and listen to the song, and this time hopefully I'll pick up words and understand on its own without the translation. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Yes, Jnana, you want to go ahead again? I think you're on mute.
I just want to say this is my new friend. She lives in my building, but we have only spoken a little bit, and I'm glad she's enjoying it. What a lovely way to start today. Thank you so much.
Lovely to bring in your neighbors and friends as well. That's lovely. Good to meet you, Tobin. Yes, I think with that, thanks a lot, Sowmya. Thanks you for that. We'll move on to our next teller. We have Veena Hasan. Let me spotlight you, Veena. Veena is sharing a story with us from Guwahati. Veena, please fully introduce yourself, tell us about your work, and share a story with us.
Thank you, Pratigya. I hope I'm clear. Yeah. Hello, everybody, to all the wonderful people sitting here from India and across the globe. I'm Veena Parveen Hasan, and I'm from the northeast of India in Assam. Right now, I'm in Guwahati. Today, I would love to share a story which happened to me 30 years back, but today also it touches my heart. So I thought, what better place than this festival? And before that, I'd like to introduce myself a little. I have been an educator for the last 30 years, working in the Montessori, in the primary, and in the middle school. All along, I've been with children, and just 2 years back, I have taken my retirement and I'm into my passion of storytelling, where I have a YouTube channel, Storytelling with Veena, where I tell stories to children. And this is for the encouragement from all the parents and my children, of course, to keep me busy. And this is the first time in Chennai Storytelling Festival that I'll be telling my story. I would like to thank a heartfelt thanks to Eric Miller for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you for learning. I've been learning each and every day that I'm watching stories from all of you. And I hope you like my story. So here goes. Pratika, I'll start now. Yeah. So in the spirit of storytelling, I'd like to invite all of you on a journey taken 30 years back, 1994. When I joined the world of Montessori as a teacher, I entered the bubbly world of curious and innocent minds. I put my right hand in, I put my right hand out, I put my right hand in and shake it all about. I do the boogie woogie, do the boogie woogie, turn myself around. I put my left hand in, put my left hand out, put my left hand in and shake it all about. Do the boogie woogie, do the boogie woogie, turn myself around. That was the atmosphere. I dipped myself into the beautiful hearts, innocent minds of the bubbly, smiling, and cute children. A little with mixed feelings, a little nervous, because this was the first time I had entered this world. And I'd heard so much about this system. As you all know, the Montessori system is based on a child's creative potential, and the inner urge of a child is given full independence. So that was the world I was introduced into, and every day was an adventure, and it was a challenge for me to understand the unique needs of the children coming from different environments. So every day before, I had to plan a little how to go about in the day. And I used to love every minute. I used to sit in the middle. I left my teacher's table and sat in the middle with them with the little chairs, at the level. And they used to come up with such wonderful, sweet little things. It was, every time I went back home, I was full of school. Now, it so happened, after the session started in the month of April, 2 months back, I had a newcomer, and he was 3 years old, and I was appointed as a lower Montessori class teacher. So I had a new student, a newcomer in lower Montessori. His name was Samarth Gogoi, and he entered, but when he greeted me, his parents had accompanied him, but he was crying. And I told his parents, don't worry, it's a new atmosphere, it's a new school. This is quite obvious. So give him time. But this happened for almost a week, that I, as a class teacher, I felt a little sad that what can be done? Because I was always greeted with an unhappy face, So the parents also said, ma'am, I don't know what will happen. He's always crying. I said, don't worry, give me some time. Then they said, ma'am, we believe in you and we trust you. That is a very big thing for any teacher. When your parents believe in you, they trust you, that gives you so much of peace in your mind. So I just took him in my stride and I made him sit near me. He didn't want to sit with his friends. He didn't want, he would just look that side and not, engage himself in any activities done in the class. We used to sing, we used to dance, and I had to take him to the board to draw. I drew a smiley face, I had a sad face, and I asked him, but still I couldn't get his attention that much. But anyway, I thought that's fine. Everything will be fine. So one day I called his mother in the evening. I said, can you tell me one thing? How does he act at home? Oh, man, you should see him. He's jumping about, shouting at the top of his voice. Do you think I'll send a video? I said, no, don't do that. Home is a very safe space for children, and this is a new atmosphere. Give him some time. I just wanted to ask him, what is dear to Samarth? She said, ma'am, he has a toy car. He loves it. Even when he goes to sleep, he carries it with him. I said, do one thing. Ask him to bring that, toy with him to school. To school? I said, yes. So believe me, next day when he came, he had his toy car in his hands and he entered with a smile. I thought I wanted to bring a little bit of his comfort from home to my classroom. So I created a home corner where I sort of tried to draw cartoons, the children's favorite cartoons, what did they like to eat, when were their birthdays. So I asked all of them and I hung it up there. And I made a corner. So I told them, whenever you finish your work, you can go and play with your toys or whatever, even if a photo frame is dear to you. So all the children love that corner, After the work, they used to go and spend time. I think they feel a little connected to home. So I saw at that time that he liked to sit with his friends also. And gradually, as time passed, he came out of that shy frame. And he was very happy singing and dancing. And now he was very much a part of the classroom. One day, it so happened, during the sweltering summers in Assam, summers are very hot and humid. Suddenly, the electricity went out. And the children started, oh, the fan is not there. It's so hot, ma'am. It was feeling very uncomfortable. I tried to distract and I told them that the electricity also needs a little rest. So it's gone for a leave and a holiday. Let's leave it and I'm sure it'll come back. So let's play some games. And I started singing rhymes, playing games, statue, freeze, and whatnot. We tried to draw, go to the board, and so. And it so happened when we were playing, after some time, I came to my table and I just picked up a book. And like a makeshift fan, I was just, doing to and fro in front of my face. And I said, don't worry, we'll have it just now. And we started, singing songs and rhymes and whatnot. And suddenly, I noticed someone just ran. And he came to my table and put something underneath my table. And in the middle of that, when I was very busy with the children, trying to control them, doing this, that, it was the tiffin time as well. So I didn't mind that. But after some time, when I came back, I realized I'd kept something. You won't believe it. When I saw it, tears welled up my eyes. There was a lump in my throat. I was awestruck. I couldn't say anything. I didn't know how to react. Because you know what he did? He, very quietly, in his place, he tore a sheet from his rough book and he made a handcraft Japanese fan for me, thinking that his teacher was feeling very hot. When I saw it, I thought, when I realized the depth of compassion in a child who was only 3 years old, thinking of his teacher. When I said, Samarth, he would just put his head down like that. He was very shy. I said, Samarth, come here. I said, dear children, see how thoughtful of Samarth to make a Japanese fan for me. He thought I was feeling hot. Then he came with his eyes smiling, with this mischievous look. And he showed me the fan because the electricity has not come as yet. And he told me in his mother tongue, Tumar gorom lagi se. You are feeling hot. And I said, yeah, I'm not feeling hot at all. Your fan saved me. And I started, this, and he was so happy. And this is the best gift till date I have received. A child. These are the lessons we learn from a child. So young, at a tender age, the depth of his compassion for his teacher. The first time he came, he was shy. He wouldn't even sit. I used to hold his hand. I used to make him eat his tiffin. Still, I'd have the same look. I used to sing so many funny songs, do like this, that, but still. But gradually, when I gave him some time, I think I could sort of, have a rapport. And he trusted in me, I believe, so that he thought for me. It was so thoughtful of him. I was the happiest teacher as any teacher can ever be. thinking that, oh my God. And now I'd like to tell you that after many years, one day in a supermarket, when I was, shopping, suddenly I heard a voice from the back, Veena ma'am. I just look and I'm a little confused because, you meet so many parents in your career of 30 years. I couldn't recognize. What he told me, the Japanese fan, that was Summer's father. After so many years, they also remembered that because after a few years, they left it. Then I told me, oh my God, it's so wonderful to meet you. Tell me how is Samarth and where he is. So, ma'am, you'll be happy to know he's in Birmingham. He has done his MSc in International Business Studies, and now he's seeking for a job. He remembers this incident, and what a coincidence. I'm going to tell him. But I'd really love to hear what he says. Please let me know. So I feel the icing on the cake is that so many former students are in touch with me. They tell me what they're doing, and I feel blessed. So now I would like Eric, if you can please share the pictures. Eric, if you are there, can you please share the pictures?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, can you please share the pictures?
Yes, just one moment.
Yeah. So even today, after 30 years, I can never forget this. It has touched my heart so much. It had an impact not only on the parents, I believe, as a teacher, with me too. Every time I remember, I feel so good, I can't tell you. And everybody, I'd like to show you some art. Yeah, if you can enlarge. Yeah. Yes, this is little Samarth when he came to my class. That's one of the moments at home. And there'll be another picture in his school uniform. Yes, this was the Samarth who came to me. That's the school uniform with his bag, exactly like that. Yeah. And now, this is him in Birmingham. He is now 31 years old. And there's another picture of his graduation. Yeah. This is parents had shared with me. So I feel so happy. I bless him with all my heart. And as teachers and parents, we need to give our children some time to adjust to the environment. So I thought this would be the best story for me, a personal experience with all of you wonderful people. Thank you so much, Eric, for sharing the pictures.
Thank you, Veena ji. This is such a beautiful story to share. And I can understand when you say the love that comes from the kids and how they are so hands-on, Suddenly they just think of something and they give you, and that is the purest kind of love as a teacher. And I'm sure you must have left a big impact on him for him to, make that fan notice that it's you're feeling hot and make that fan for you. Very beautiful story, and I'm sure you'd have been a wonderful teacher. I think I'm going to start calling you Veena ma'am from now on.
Pratigya, that's so kind of you. And I just like to read. The father had written a letter to me. You are a very good teacher. Always, I know that there has to be a connect for imparting knowledge. Samarth was blessed to have you because I remember he cried every day. Everybody can't teach. It's a fact. Even the topper in the whole world can't teach. And I'd like to end my story with a quote. We can't heal the world today, but we can begin with a voice of compassion, a heart of love, and an act of kindness. Thank you very much.
How beautifully put. Yes, thanks for sharing that. Opening it out to the audience, I can see everybody's quite excited, and some of them are teary-eyed as well after listening to what you have to say. Anybody wants to share their thoughts? Yes, Renu, please go ahead.
Where is Veena? Can you spotlight her, please?
No, I think we're going to stay in gallery view so we can see each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
please go ahead.
I don't know if you can see me, but loved you, love, and kisses. I absolutely enjoyed your story. I think you must have been a wonderful, wonderful teacher and a person. I love the quote. I love the way you ended the story. And yes, we cannot heal the world, but we can do a little bit with some kindness, some compassion, some love. Goes a long way around. Much love to you.
Back to you, Renu.
That was a really nice story, Veena ma'am. I would also like to call you Veena ma'am. I'm just curious, which school in Guwahati? I spent a few years in Guwahati. Kun school asile?
Oh, that's so sweet of you. The name is Maria Montessori.
Ah, Mura. My cousin also studied there for some time. Nice to
Okay.
meet you.
Okay, that's so nice. If
Yeah.
I may ask your name, only the letter N is showing.
Oh,
Neha.
is it?
Neha.
I'm Neha.
Neha.
Okay. That's so nice meeting you, Neha. Thank you
Nice
so
to meet you
much.
too. Bhal lagise.
It's a small world, huh? We get to meet each other here. Yes, Neeta, please go ahead.
Beautiful story, Veena ji. Thank you for sharing. And we can feel the emotions and all that you were going through and the describing every part of the emotions to the story. Thank you for sharing. It was very touching and a beautiful story.
Thank you so much, Nita. Thank you.
Yes, Neena, please go ahead.
Yeah, Veena ma'am, even after being, you were not well, but that is reflecting in your voice as well. But your story just took us back to our teaching days. And even now, when children get connected with us, when they send us messages, that emotion was very well there. And thank you so much for sharing this and showing us your little Samarth and the grown-up Samarth also. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina, so much.
Thanks, Neena. Anybody else? So, Veena ji, do you enjoy sharing personal stories in particular, or is this, you said it's the first time at the festival, but do you enjoy sharing personal stories more, or?
Yeah, I do. Recently, I had a workshop with Srija, and spontaneously, I started sharing something I never thought I would. That was such a wonderful, workshop by Srija Nair, I think.
Srija Nair, yeah.
Wearing different shades of way. She asked if anybody would. Then I had shared a story about my mother, who I lost very early. She was only 42. So it has a very, in my mind, I still miss her. So that came out so spontaneously. And Pratiga, I can't tell you, I was so sick yesterday. I was down with fever. I didn't think I'd be able to talk also today. Just taking, all medicines. And so I'm so happy I could do it at least today.
I appreciate your commitment, definitely. And I think the story is so beautiful, it pulled you out of your ill health and forced you to be here and share it, I think. There's something about personal stories, right? As an audience, we're able to connect a lot more to it. And as you were saying it, a lot of them were nodding and going back to their school days, or some child would have given us something. And my first thought was just yesterday, just as I entered the class, there was a child who gave me a half-tone, just a little sheet, two stick drawings. This is me, this is my storyteller, ma'am. And these small little things from kids, it gives you such love, such joy. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful story, Veena. Thanks a lot.
That's being a teacher, the greatest gift we can ever have, the greatest satisfaction in life.
True.
And when they still connect with you, that's the best part.
Thank you. With that, we'll wrap up Veena ji's story and move on to our next teller. We now have Debjani Bhaduri. Deb, please unmute yourself, tell us a little about yourself, and share a story with us.
Hello, everyone. And my name is Debjani. And
Deb, can you be louder? I'm not sure if others can hear you clearly. It's a little feeble for me.
Yeah, now?
Better.
Okay, I think I'll hold it yeah.
That will help.
Yeah. So, hello, everybody. Good evening. And I'm still soaking in the experience of Veena ji's story. My heart is still heavy. It will take me a moment to, come to the flow. So please excuse me for that. That was so touching, Veena ji. And off late, maybe because of aging, maybe because of many other factors, I get emotional very easily. So, yeah. So, yeah, my name is Debjani. I am based out of Chennai now, but basically I belong to Calcutta, Bengal. And I have been practicing storytelling for last 13 years, I I guess, 13, 14 years. Earlier, I was a teacher for some time, lecturer for some time. And as a storyteller, I love to share stories across all age groups. And I love to use storytelling as a tool to teach concepts, so that the teacher can use it in the classroom for various purposes, and also to train young professionals in the soft skills. So that's what is, in a nutshell, that's my work. And like all of us, I'm a story lover. Okay. Now, coming to the story, well, we are all slightly heavy. So let's do something. Usually, who have attended my sessions earlier know that I love to start my storytelling whenever the adults are there with a paan. You all know paan? Just for those who don't know, who are not from our culture, paan is an Indian mouth freshener. It's a betel leaf. Inside, you put betel nuts and you apply some lime. Just wrap it, make a small packet, and put it inside. Everything is happening virtually, so why not the mouth freshener virtually? Put your mouth freshener virtually, okay? And you have to do this. And this hish is the final satisfaction. I have done with mine. You all enjoy your paan and listen to the story. Okay. So once upon a time, am I audible before I start fully? Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful green landscape, a huge lake surrounded by tall trees. And just at a quaint corner of that lake, there was a dry spot, nearby a flower bed laden with flowers of different colors and shapes and sizes. And that dry spot was covered with huge, big, broad green leaves. Wow. A perfect spot for a perfect home, for a perfect couple. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Duck. And to add to their joy, just 2 days ago, 4 of their eggs had cracked, and out popped 4, soft, bright, golden yellow, just, just like soft toys, 4 ducklings. And the parents were just basking in the glory and pride of their new parenthood. They held the two kids in their hands. 2 boys, 2 girls. What a symmetry. So they had in their hands and they... Okay, these 2 girls should be named Meher and Rushi. And the boys? I think I should name them Samir and Salil. What do you think? Yes. Perfect. Yeah. So one evening, they 2, along with their kids, were just singing joyfully. Ay dil, tu laya hai bahar, apnों का प्यार, क्या कहना, मिले हम, तो छलक उठा, खुशी का खुमार, क्या कहना, ऐ दिल. And the mother duck stopped. She just laid down the 2 ducklings she had She looked at the other egg that was lying there still, that has not yet cracked. She looked back and she asked Mr. Duck, listen, but that one, can you see? It is slightly D-shaped. And don't you think it is different? And it's bigger, larger, and slightly grayish. Not like these 4 eggs that I laid. Oh, Mr. Duck tried to ease her. Don't worry, wifey. It happens. It happens. It is not hatching. It's still there. Arey, even I came so late, you know. And that's why you see I'm so handsome. Well, they were taking the ducklings. The 4 ducklings were swimming in the lake. They were feeding them well. They were cuddling them. But all the while, that one egg was going on pricking their mind. What? Why it is not hatching? 2 days passed. There was rain. It rained heavily. And once the rain stopped, Mrs. Duck could see a rainbow up there. They all screamed, exclaimed with joy. A rainbow, see? Ah, lovely smell of petrichor all around. Wow. Ah, wait. I heard something. Crack, 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 crack. That egg, the 5th one, is cracking. Yeah, it cracked. And the mother and the father were anxiously, excitedly bent down to see what's coming up. Yeah, it's cracking. Up, out. You! No. So ugly. The mother shrieked. She began beating her head. How? So different from the others. Oh no. And the father even asked Mrs. Duck, are you sure it is ours? How can you question my character? Of course it is ours. I laid 5 eggs. You forgot. Yeah, right. Now when these two were lamenting over their ill luck, that eeny-beeny tiny duckling, newborn, was trembling, frightened. Should I come out or should I not? But where should I go also? My egg is already broken. Am I not welcome here? Poor duckling. 2 weeks passed. No name was given to her. 2 weeks passed. She was not taken for swimming in the lake. 2 weeks passed. She was not taken out or shown to anybody because she was a scar on the picture-perfect family frame. But religiously, the mother every day was applying turmeric paste, aloe vera paste, sandalwood paste, kilo on her face, her whole body, and checking. Let me see. Oh, no change at all. The same black, ugly one. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Hey, listen, I'm hearing the news. Nowadays, a lot of cosmetic surgery is happening. Maybe when she grows up, we can take her for that. I don't know. But the worst fear is the duck auntie. Old duck auntie. You know how long we can hide her from her. And once she sees her, she's going to ridicule. She's going to shout at us. I'm just scared. Hello. You take the name of the devil and the devil is there. That's when they heard. Yeah. So, what's going on, huh? I heard the news. You have got five, right? 5 kids? But you didn't call me to show. Auntie, we are about to call you. See, Auntie, these are our 4 kids. Meher, Rushi, Sameer, Salil. How are they? Nice, very good. What about the 5th one, dear? She is resting, Auntie. She is resting. Actually, she took birth 2 days later. No, so little tired. Tired or something else? No, nothing, Auntie. Just she is tired. Poor duckling didn't know the ways of the world. So she, exactly, what a coincidence, right at time, crept out of her hideout and said, Mommy, this is your 5th one? Oh, you, so ugly. Ew. Worst amongst all of us. I mean, none of us gave birth to such an ugly duckling. I don't know, Auntie. I don't know how it happened. So, oh, Pavam. I feel really pity for you. I mean, for all of you. Anyways, what name for her? We were just thinking, Auntie. Why so thinking? So easy to give a name for her. She is full dark, no? So call her Kali. Well, for the unversed, Kali means black in India. So call her Kali. Okay, Auntie, Kali. My name is Kali. Yeah. What else you expect? So she was named Kali. See, dear, you need a name for admission into the school, right? Better you start trying now. And I tell you, you try to give this one good education. Otherwise, with this feature and this complexion, she would have no value in the market. At least education will increase her value. Sure, Auntie, we will try. Time passed. They grew up little more. They were admitted Duck International School. And first day of the school, Kali was little scared. She said, Meher, Sameer, would you mind if I come, if I walk beside you too? And would you mind please holding me? You know, no, I'm scared to go out. I don't go out much. Lol, you are scared for everything for that matter. Oh, Meher screamed. And no way you are coming close to us. 1 arm distance. We just hate to tell that you are our sibling. Please, please, you don't have to tell. Allow me to come. Oh, just follow us, okay? But never close to us. I told you. Okay, I'll follow. Kali followed them all the way to the school, all the way to the classroom. She found a place Vacant, she sat there. Of course, no other duck came to sit beside her. She sat there. The teacher entered, and the teacher said, "All right, children, so we are now going to start with the direction. Turn to your left, turn to your right. Tell me the name of your friends who is sitting to your left and who is sitting on your right." Yes, dear, now it's your turn. You. Your name is Kali, right? That's not left, dear, that's right. And the whole class resounded with because nobody was sitting with her. And Kali was also messed up with the direction. The moment the teacher left, the children started shouting, "Arey, Kali, Pugly, mental, you don't have any sense? Where to look? No direction sense, Arey, what will happen with you?" Kali's head bent and thick drops of tears were tup, 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 falling on the desk. Those tears, I don't know, those tears, that sobbing sound, I have heard somewhere, friends, somewhere. Oh, I remember. I saw the same type of tears and the same sobbing, thought bubbles in a picture book. Yeah, I was reminded of that. And in my mind, I was like flipping the pages and I saw the classroom. No, not this duck classroom. It was a human boys and girls classroom, and there was a girl sitting there in one corner in place of Kali. Her name was Mamon. She was obese. She was short-haired. She was a little clumsy. And the whole class was shouting, "Moti, Moti, fatso, good for nothing, worthless, unsmart." And Mamon's head was bent just like Kali. Drops of hair were falling. Quickly, I turned that page. I don't want to think of that again. Oh, so sad. And there I saw, who is this? So famous, Jasprit Bumrah. Our best bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, who had created a world record in bowling. What is Bumrah doing here, I thought. Bumrah was standing, of course, in his younger version, like this. And one big person with a glasses written over their selection head was telling, "No, your style is very, very different. We can't accept you. You are rejected. Go." Okay, I turned quickly that page. Now whom I saw, Mr. Bachchan, Amitabh Bachchan, one of the great superstars of the whole world. He, in his younger version, was standing there with a microphone in that picture. And again, another few big shots with big, thick glasses sitting and said, "What? Such a bass voice? So much heavy voice? No. You won't be able to connect with anyone. You are rejected. Out." I didn't have any more courage to open that book. I shut the book and immediately I thought, "Yo, what I am doing?" I started to tell the story of Kali and I started telling you the stories of the picture book. That's why, dear friends, That's why my college professor, always used to tell me, Debjani, don't digress from the basic point, I remembered ma'am's dialogue and I quickly came back to the Kali story. Yes, I'll tell you what happened. So, of course, Kali couldn't make any friend in the school. But during the vacation, she used to go around and try to find a place which was quite lonely. And she used to enjoy singing her rhymes and dancing on that. Yankee doodle doodle do, Yankee doodle dandy, Yankee doodle doodle do, Yankee doodle dandy, Yankee doodle doodle do, Yankee doodle dandy, Yankee doodle doodle do, Yankee doodle dandy. And that's when someone shouted, "Stop! Have we lost it?" Same line again and again and again. Ooh, I've got a headache now. Ooh, any idea? That old duck auntie whom Kali was mostly scared of. And she came out. I was doing my morning puja and such a disturbance, huh? Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. She had a picture in her hand, her god's picture, and she was doing puja. So Kali said, Granny, can I see the picture that you have in your hand? What you will do? Just once. Okay, see. Oh, one black lady. Just so black like me. But why are you worshipping a black lady? Should you worship a black lady? She is not any ordinary black lady. She is Goddess Mother Kali. She is all of our mother, the mother of the entire creation. She is not Kali just like you, the worthless Kali. And the duck auntie left. But there Kali sat and was thinking, oh, now I understand. If the god or goddess is black, no problem, no problem, no problem. If a duck is black, problem, problem, problem. Kali, you are Kali. You are not goddess Kali. Okay. Okay. And she moved on. Well, may some more years passed. They have all now grown up. Kali had learnt now that she had to live alone, find her joy alone in this world. She began enjoying in swimming, in dancing, in prancing. And one day, she didn't realize she moved away and away and away and away, far away from her duckland. And there she found the place so nice that she started dancing. Piyu bole, piya bole, kyun bhi bole, januna, piya dole, holi holi, kyun bhi dole, januna. Just then there was a pat on her shoulder. Sorry. Why are you sorry? No. This is not my place. No, I came here. I was dancing just like this. Sorry. Oh God, how many times you will tell sorry? Who are you? I'm just coming from some other place. I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you. I'm going back home. I'm going back. Where is your flock? I don't have any flock. I don't have to flock. You are telling you are going back home, but you are telling you don't have any flock. Arey, what are you telling? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, sorry. Can you just be quiet for 1 second? Calm down and tell me what is your name at least? No, I can't tell my name. I might tell them my name is very bad, very bad, very bad. I don't like my name. Yo. Tell your name. Kali. What? Your name Kali? I know your name is Kali because Mother Kali, Goddess Kali. Such an empowering name you have, no? No. My name is Kali because I am black. What? You were so elegant. I was noticing you dancing. You were so graceful. I mean, your feathers were shimmering. And I tell you, you're very sexy also. No, don't tell all this. Don't tell all this. Arey yaar, that's what I thought by seeing you. That's what I'm telling you. Wait, I'll give you a name. I'm very good at it. Your name should be Tara. Tara? Yes. Tara is another name of Goddess Kali. And also Tara means star. You are a perfect star. Stunning, dazzling diva. Tara. No, don't tell all this. Don't tell all this. I'm not like that. Okay. Okay, you wait. Let me call my family. You meet them and you go. And that time Kali looked. There was a flock of birds. They were all black. Just like this one who was talking to her. They were all black. They were all shimmering. And they were all having happiness and joy. But Kali said, don't call them. No one talks to me. If they come, they will start hating me too. And they might peck me. I'm going. I'm sorry. 5 times you said sorry already. You wait 1 minute. Let my mom come. And she called all her family members and said, this is my new friend, Tara. Now I'm going, okay? Before you leave, let us swim little bit. All right? You relax and then you go. Okay. And Kali, aka Tara, was just going down to the lake when she saw her reflection. She looked up at these birds, this black, beautiful flock of birds, and she saw her reflection. She said, friend, I look like you little bit. Of course you look like all of us. You are a black swan. No. I am a black, ugly duck. For once you believe me. You are a black swan. I'm a black swan? I was not a duck. I all the while wanted to be a duck. Whereas I was a swan. I have a family. I can dance. And they don't call me Kali. They call me Tara. Dear friends, I was so happy to see my Kali, my Tara to be happy when I heard the sound of some others being so joyful, laughing happily. So I turned and I saw, you know what? That girl, Mamon, from that picture book. She was so happy now. I said, Hare, I know you. I've seen your picture. You have grown up. But how are you so happy now? Huh? What are you doing? You were laughing so. He said, no, not that I'm always happy. Still, I'm sad sometimes. Still, there's many people say I'm worthless. But you know what? I have learned to try to be happy by making others happy. You make others happy. How? 1 second. Just bend your head. a doodle 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 do, cock a doodle 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 do. I have become a clown who spreads happiness and joy. And that's how I find my happiness. Thank you. I came back happily.
My dear Momol, such a beautiful story. Such a regular, known story, how you've connected it to yourself, how you've connected it to a lot of learnings for a lot of people. With your typical humor, I'm not going to talk about your expressions and humor and everything because I'm sure the audience would want to tell a lot about it. But you are a master of your craft. Love the way you crafted the entire story, Dev. I think we'll give Deb a little time to get herself back. It's been a very emotional story for her, which I can understand. Why don't I open it out to the audience and let us shower her with our positivity? Yes, anybody who wants to share something.
Well, Mamon is myself. So Prati knows that's why she gave me that time. In case you all don't know, I'm the Mamon.
Dave, if possible, hold the mic. It's a little feeble. Yeah.
So this Mamon is me who has gone through something. I don't want to glorify my problem. I never like to. So yeah, anything about the crafting. And I was very tensed. You know why? Because friends, yesterday night only I crafted the story. I knew I will do this, but I could not sit and do everything because of some projects going on currently. So I was so occupied with that.
It's come out beautifully, Dev. It's come out very, very beautifully. And your typical expressions, your humor, how do you manage to bring humor in every kind of a story? I really don't understand. Love it, love it. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole story, and there's so much more to this story, which is going to stay with me for a long time. I think I'm going to keep pondering over it, and I'll call you every now and then to talk about it. Yes, Harita, you want to share something? Did I see your hand up, Harita?
I want to, is somebody sharing?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, you were the one who was doing sculpting a character session. Yeah, so I attended like till half an hour, and when I see that and when I see you today, it is because that was a more serious, a more interactive chat. So I was so amazed. Number one is the first time I'm hearing you, and such great expressions and such everyday moments, of the child, of the ugly duckling coming out and saying "mummy." Every moment was so well lived, and even after the session, knowing that it's your personal story, it's also a bigger emotional impact, and you put in so much in the telling that was visible, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had to do some things, but I couldn't leave the screen. I was just watching you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for those kind words, Neha. Neeta, you want to go ahead?
Yes. So superb, Debjani. So like whenever I hear you, I become greedy and want to hear you more and more. Fabulous telling, and with your expression, even my expressions were also changing. And seriously. So you are so good in your expression and narration that I could feel each and every emotion and the word you were narrating. And God bless you. And I love the story. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
Yes, Veena ji, please. Veena Didi, I'll call you Didi.
No, please don't. I'm always Veena for everybody.
Okay, fine.
Debjani, oh my God, what a perfect performance. You are amazing. Your gestures and the way you crafted the story. So many positive vibes, and each and every time you came back to it, how did you think about it? So beautifully done. You are amazing. And you resemble my Mahi a little, my mother's sister.
Oh.
He is to tell us a lot of stories, and the way I think if my relatives see I have taken a short clipping to show them because you resemble her a lot. And I remember my Mahi today, my mother's character.
Assistant. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that you are liking it. Yeah. So glad. So the bit of the story has been taken from the work of, what's her name? Some Priyangi Guha or somebody. Little portion, and rest of it is, of course, you can understand some thoughts about various metaphors like Kali and like people who were rejected and then became a name, and my personal experience.
Very beautifully brought in all of that. Yes, Renu, please go ahead.
Debjani, darling, I've told you always that you're a powerhouse of talent. Much love and a kiss to you. And keep doing this. It was a beautiful, beautiful story. For a short while, I was wondering where it's going to. And then I started realizing the comparisons, the way you dovetailed both the stories so beautifully. The way you started, I turned the page, this page, that page. It was beautifully moving. I thoroughly enjoyed the story. So keep crafting, keep doing your work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renu. I think we are slightly short of time. So with that, I will have to move on to our next teller. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who want to tell a lot to you, Deb, but maybe they'll reach out to you personally and do that.
Yes.
We are moving on to our next teller for the day. We have Deepthi Suresh joining us from Bengaluru. Deepthi, please introduce yourself and share a story with us.
Good evening, everybody. Deepthi here from Bangalore. So I'm a teacher too. I work in a school as a life skills trainer. So many touching stories. Both the stories that I missed the first one, the second and the third one, which I heard was like amazing. And like, one of us just mentioned, I was literally like, my mouth was wide open. And with every expression of Debjani, I think I was also giving similar reactions. If we have a recording, we will know everybody had all sorts of expressions and beautiful. I'm so, I feel so honored to be among you all, such lovely storytellers. And I would like to thank Eric for this opportunity. So as an adult, storytelling for adults, I'm doing it, I've been doing it as a passion. I have my storytelling channel with a friend of mine. It's called Sugar and Spice. And, we really have a lot of fun having, telling stories to adult audience. So it is always children or adults. I think stories are the most beautiful thing. I've always loved listening to stories. And thanks to COVID and thanks to a beautiful forum called Bangalore Storytelling Society, who is so welcoming. And that is why I am here. And that's what made me a storyteller. So I shall delve directly into the story because we are a little short of time. So my story is from my native state, Kerala. It is a folklore and it is a legend behind a beautiful ritual that is followed in a place called Valluvanad in Kerala. It is in the northern part of Kerala. And the ritual goes this way. Every year during the month of, February, March, coincidentally, just after harvesting is done, there is this ritual of, a sort of godlike or god or demon, we cannot really say, a person, actually a male character. He dresses up as a woman, ghost or a Pudam is the word, and the name of my story is Pudapata. So Pudam is a spiritual demon who dresses up in very vibrant clothing and comes to the village, accompanied by drum beat. And when the Pudam comes to each household, people welcome the Pudam with they give the Pudam rice and grains and new clothes and everything. So my story is the story behind why this ritual, why Pudam comes to every household. So shall I start with a song in my mother tongue, Malayalam? തുടികൊട്ടും കലന്നോട്ടു ചിലമ്പിൻ കലമ്പലുകൾ അയ്യയ്യ വരവമ്പിളി പൂങ്കല മേലണി കരിപ്പൂതം അയ്യയ്യ വരവമ്പിളി പൂങ്കല മേലണി കരിപ്പൂതം. Yes, can you see the Pudam clad in lots of brass jewelry and full of bells on her body? You know what? Let me tell you the story of Pudam. You know who Pudam was? Pudam used to live in the other side of the hill in a small cave with tiny pigeonholes through which Pudam used to always look during the day. Pudam was very mischievous. You know what she used to do? Yes, it was a she. Pudam used to look through the pigeonhole and see when the cowherd boys are asleep. All the cows used to be, standing there and grazing, and the Pudam used to slowly go steal and drink the milk. Can you beat that? And you know what? With her magical tricks, she used to make people who are returning from work lose their way. They would just look here and there, and when they start to walk, the way would never end. And then they would realize, yes, this is the Pudam's trick. And they even knew the antidote. You know what they used to do? They used to take a nice betel leaf and keep an areca nut on it. Yes, the pan Debjani was talking about. So he used to keep the traditional pan, which was the Pudam's favorite, on the rock, and lo, the way would just suddenly clear up and they would go. And as soon as they left, Pudam would take the pan, put it in her mouth, chew it, and spit a long spit into the bushes. There is a plant, a bushy plant called Ixora. I'm sure you must have heard or seen. It is a blood red in color, and they say it is the pan which is making it so red. Not only this, the Pudam had some other tricks also. What she would do, she would disguise herself as this beautiful young maiden, with long tresses and nicely written eyes, and she would chew the pan and make her lips red in color, stand in the way when young men passed that way. They were a little intoxicated too, looking at this beautiful young damsel, and the way she spoke to them, sweet talk to them, they would just follow her as if in a spell to a nearby huge pala tree. Now, pala tree is a certain kind of huge, like a palm tree, which is notorious for demons and, but the youngsters never thought it was a pala tree. For them, it looked like a 7-storied mansion. And they would just follow her and go there, only to find bones and hair the next day on the other side of the hill. Oh, such a notorious creature, right? The Pudam was. Why then people are giving clothes and grains and all to this Pudam? Let me tell you, the Pudam is not notorious anymore. It used to do these notorious things. But you know what? An incident happened which changed the Pudam forever. That is what I'm going to tell you today. Long, long ago, in the same village as the Pudam, there lived a woman called Nangeli. After a lot of prayers and, hopefulness, she was blessed with a baby boy. His name was Unni. Now, Nangeli got her baby boy as a blessing, and from the day he was born, Nangeli just couldn't keep him down. She doted on her son. She fed him, nice morsels of rice, showing, cats and dogs and all kinds of animals and star and moon. Said, look and eat. So she was so fond of her son, and he grew up to be this adorable little boy. And anyone who laid eyes on him would just fall in love with him. He was so, so adorable. And it was time when he had to go to school now. It was time to start his education. He was 7 years old. So the day he was starting school, Nangeli dressed him up in a nice mundu, which is an off-white cloth, which, people used to wear in Kerala. The children wear just, a cloth, and they wear nice ornaments. And Nangeli made a nice bun with his black tresses on the side of his head and handed him the pen and the paper. Those days it was not pen and paper. It was something called the Ezhuthani and the Ola, which is an iron scribe and a palm leaf on which children used to write and learn. Now, there were two reasons why parents would give this iron scribe to children, because they were going to let them go to school all alone, and there would be some evil spirits or somebody bad, on the way. So it was believed that iron would repel these evil spirits. So that is why mothers would give this to him. And while giving it to Unni, Nangeli told him, please be careful. Don't buy, whoever says anything, don't let this iron scribe go away from your hand. It should always be with you. So Unni said, okay, Amma. And they both left. And Nangeli saw him go, and he left all alone to the school that he had to go to study. Like those days, how it was. He would walk to school, and it was like he was so overjoyed. He was out of his home for the first time, all alone. He was exploring everywhere. He was looking at the nature, and it was such a beautiful village, full of greenery, full of trees, fruits and flowers everywhere. He spoke to the trees, he spoke to the animals on the way, and he was singing a nice song, and he walked until he reached near the mountain where who lived? Udam. And what was she doing? As usual, looking through the pigeonhole of her cave. Did she see? Oh my God, who was that coming? It was none other than this small little boy, Unni. He was the color of the fresh yellow banana. Yes, he looked so adorable, like a water lily. She just couldn't take her eyes off him. And she felt a sudden heaviness in her bosom. She felt motherhood for the very first time. She wanted Unni. Yes, she wanted Unni. She wanted to talk to him, to play with him. So she thought of a plan. If I go like this, Unni is going to run away. So let me disguise myself into this pretty young girl. And that's what she did. She changed her form into a pretty young girl and went and stood in the way that Unni was coming. She also had a garland made of jasmine flowers in her hand. When she saw Unni, she said, Unni, come here. Unni looked at her suspiciously. Who is this calling me? Right in the middle of the way that I'm going to school. What? He asked. She said, hi. Shall we play? When she went closer, she saw the iron scribe. She couldn't go near until he threw it away. So she lured him, to throw that thing away. Throw that, no? Why do you want to go to school? So boring. Writing, learning, you'll have to just sit in one place. We'll go and play. You know what? I'll teach you to make nice flower garlands. Let's go and play. And he said, no. My mother has told me not to part with this. I am not going to throw it. I'm going to keep it with me. Come, no, me, please. See, I have this garland you saw. I have so much more there. I will teach you how to make these garlands. Come, no, please. Only today. Tomorrow I'll let you go to school. Come. Then he thought, okay, maybe today I can go. And like the Pudam expected, he threw the scribe. And as soon as the iron was away from him, Pudam caught hold of him. Come. They ran inside to play. The day went by. It was dark. Nangeli was already, she was so sad that she was separated from her very, very favorite child for few hours. Already it was dusk. Unni hadn't returned. She was so frightened and she was worried. She got down barefoot and started walking. She looked everywhere for Unni. She couldn't find him. Unni, where are you? Unni, come back home. Where are you? Please answer me. Where are you? She went around calling Unni. Unni did not reply. Even the birds and the flowers and the plants were heartbroken to see the mother's grief. And then the wailings of the mother was heard by none other than Pudam. Pudam was happily sitting and making garlands. Some disturbance, some sound. Unni, that lady is calling. I hope Unni doesn't hear. For some time, she just ignored. Then she realized the wailings are coming closer and closer. Then she decided, I have to do something. She started to scare the mother in the form. First, she came as a tornado, as a twister. And then mother was not aware of anything that was happening around her. All she wanted was to see her Unni. So the tornado didn't scare her. She just looked, Unni. She just kept calling him. Then he came in the form of wild animals. She came in the form of wild animals, as a tiger, as a leopard. She did all that she could to scare the mother away, but the mother kept repeating, where is my Unni? Where is my Unni? By now, she had understood something had gone wrong. She had also heard stories about the Pudam, of course. So she knew, and now she was determined to get Unni back. Now the Pudam thought, let me try something different. Mother does not seem to get scared. Let me now try something. She's a lady, no? Let me see. Now on top of the hill, she just plucked open the top of the hill as if she was plucking a flower. And from inside, she took jewels, gems, jewelries, lots of gold and, stones, all kinds of jewelry. She thought the mother is going to get attracted and go away with those jewels. But you know what the mother did? Was there anything more precious for her than her son? She showed that by a very, very heart-wrenching act. She scooped out her eyes out of the sockets and placed it in front of the Pudam. And she said, I don't even want to see what you're showing me. This is how precious my son is for me. Give back my son, Pudam. By now I know it is you who has taken him. Please return my son to me. Pudam was taken aback. What's this? I've not seen this kind of love. Done everything that I can. Mother is still not agreeing. Then Pudam realized, mother is blind now. Let me try something. Now what I can do? He took a plant, a stick, from the shrub, told some mantras, abracadabra, and she made a fake Unni, a child who looked exactly like Unni, and gave, here, Nangeli Amma, here is your son. Nangeli Amma just hugged him. One hug, and she knew, of course she knew it wasn't her son. She said, by now she had lost all patience. She said, you are trying to cheat a mother, a mother's womb? You think I can't recognize my son? How dare you? Now I am going to curse you. And she lifted her hand just about to curse the Pudam, when the Pudam realized, no, I can't take this. No, please, please, please don't curse me. Nangeliamma, please don't curse me. I won't be able to take it. Here is your Unni. And slowly she made Unni return to his mom. And then Nangeliamma embraced him, showered him with kisses. She just couldn't, contain the happiness to get her child back. And then when she turned to look at the Pudam, you know what she saw? This creature, the one which looks so scary and so frightening, with, very sharp teeth, which was black, the eyes were red in color. Pudam was actually standing there and crying her heart out. It was not the cry of a demon. It was the cry of a mother. She was so attached to Unni by then. She didn't want to let Unni go. She was crying. And mother felt so sad. She felt, oh, this is, something. Can I do something for the Pudam? And she told the Pudam, from next year onwards, please come to our home every year. After the harvesting season, when the granaries are full, please come home and you can visit Unni once a year. Pudam was overjoyed. Really? Can I come? Yes, you can. And Nangeliamma took Unni back home. From that year, every time the harvesting season was over, Pudam would come to visit her Unni. But you know what the catch was? Pudam had forgotten to ask which was Unni's house. So she actually had to go to each and every household. Unni undo, is Unni here? Is Unni here? Is Unni here? And people started actually making fun of the Pudam. Come, Unni is here. I'll show you Unni, come. Poor Pudam, right? Every household she would go looking for the Unni. And when she sees that Unni is not there, she would run to the next household. But she would bless all the households that she went to and take whatever offerings the people gave. And this was why this ritual started. And there ends my story. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this journey back to Kerala. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepthi. There is something about sharing a story from your own land. Somehow it's, of course, the story was very vibrant, very colorful kind of a story. And it's good to know the stories behind these small little rituals that we do. So thank you for sharing that with us. Opening it out to the audience, anybody wants to share any thoughts? So Deepthi, when or how did you come across this story?
So actually, I also wanted to share that this is the story which as a child I heard. This is a poem actually. It is written by a poet called Edasheri Govindan Nair. He actually brought out, it is so beautifully explained. The descriptions are so beautiful that as a child I have seen a visual form of this poem being acted out as a dance drama, and those images are so clear in my mind even now. I've always loved this story of Pudapata. That is why I started my storytelling journey, like I said, with this story. And today I thought with people from all over, it would be great if I can share a story from my land. Yeah, that's why I thought I chose the story. Yeah.
Definitely beautiful choice. Yes, Dennis, please go ahead.
I really enjoyed your story, and I just want to know how to spell it. But besides that, I'm wondering if the story that you told is as familiar to where you are and the people around you as, for instance, the story of Saint Nicholas is here with The Night Before Christmas, or some of the the stories that are so deeply entrenched in the cultures that get passed on and on. And again, I love the story. It reminded me of the Christmas folklore. It reminded me of Hans Christian Andersen's The Story of a Mother. It has different elements of those very traditional elements of a hero's journey. And that, anyway, they're my couple of questions. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad that it reminded. I think for all of us, the base is the same. So many things are common, though the cultures are entirely different. There are lots of things which are common. And every time you say a legend or a folklore, it connects with almost everybody, I feel, in some way or the other. It takes them back to their own memories, So I feel I always love mythology. I love folklore. So thank you so much, Dennis.
That clearly came across in your telling, Deepthi. Yes, sorry, as I mentioned earlier, slightly crunched for time, so we will have to move to the next teller. But as I said, a very vibrant story, a very lively telling. I think we could picturize most of what you were saying. We could see the Budam moving around and being naughty and trying to tick people. And thanks for that sharing. Thanks a lot.
And the mother's love, which is so powerful.
There's nothing that matches a mother's love, isn't it?
And it transforms even an evil demon,
How true. Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes. Moving on to our next teller, we have Valentina Ortiz, all the way from Mexico. Hello, Valentina. Welcome to the festival. Please introduce yourself and share a story with us.
Hello. It's an honor to be with you all the way to Chennai and to India and to many, many places in India. Hello to the people from the US. Hello, Jean. And this is a story. This is a personal story that I put together about 2 years ago. And yes, I am in Mexico. Luz de colores, regálame la vida. Luz de colores, enséñame el amor. Un arco iris es este enorme mundo. Una gran olla llena de pasión. Volando, oh, camino de color. Volando, oh, en este gran amor. Volando, oh, camino de color. Volando, oh, en este gran amor. I am very, very, very fortunate. I own a space capsule. It's not big at all. It is round. It's like a small room. It's round and obviously made out of this very powerful metal. But inside, it is so comfortable. On one side, I have a couch, a leather couch. And on the other side, there's the board with all the commands, of course, and a very comfortable chair that turns, and the beautiful, beautiful window. When I sit in that chair and look out, I can see the stars, I can see the Milky Way, I can see the moon, I can see the whole universe. I like my space capsule. And I fly around the moon. You see, Valentina Tereshkova, Russian astronaut, she flew around the moon 43 times in a tiny capsule. And since she was very small, she knew that was what she wanted to do. She's the second human to go around the moon, ever. The first was a man, Gagarin, and before that was a dog, Laika, right? But she still was the third, and she enjoyed it so much. And she wanted to be as good as the man, Gagarin. Whatever he did, she could do it, of course. And you see, there's a tradition that brings you good luck. Before you get into your space capsule and into the universe, you have to urinate the wheels that hold the capsule, the structure that holds the capsule. Yes, you have to pee on them. Well, If Gargarin did it, she could do it. It was a little complicated because she was wearing a one-piece suit, a beautiful white one-piece suit, but she did it. Because we women, when we decide we're going to do something, we do it. Valentina Tereshkova. She is Russian. She has a space capsule. I am Valentina, and I am from Mexico. I have a space capsule, and I must confess that I have urinated on wheels. I mean, the wheels of a car. You must understand, I was a teenager. We were drinking beer, and it was nighttime. And yes, the neighbors called the police. And I wonder if every time a man urinates outside of a bathroom, if every time they call the police car, there might not be enough police cars in the whole world for one city. But the important thing is that I have my capsule and I can fly and I am a strong woman and I'm a survivor, yes. Because you see, this is just between you and me, okay? By the time I was 3 days old, I had committed, not 3 weeks, not 3 years, 3 days old, a baby. I had committed 3 crimes. I was guilty 3 times. Let me explain. Let's say you meet my mother, and she knows you're my friend, right? So she always does it. She always tells the same story about me. She will tell you how much I hurt her when I was born, because I was born with my feet first. I promise I've understood. I've heard it enough times that I know next time I am born, I have to be born with the head first, not the feet. I got it. Then she will tell you, oh, my daughter, she was born on the wrong day. I mean, who in their right mind would be born on the last day of the year, on the 31st of December? I mean, who? Me. But I think I have an excuse. You know, when you are inside the stomach of the belly of your mother, inside the womb, well, you don't really have access to a calendar. Then my mother will go on. And she say, not only was she born on the wrong day, she was born at the wrong time. If she had been born at midnight, the government would have given me a new fridge. But no, Valentina was born at 11 p.m. Time goes by, and when I'm about 40, I find in a box a little picture. It's like a mugshot. You know, it's my face as a newborn baby, all swollen up. And underneath, there's a little sign that has my last name and the day I was born, 31st of December, 1963, and the time. And it says 6 p.m., not 11, 6. I grab the picture. I run to my mother's house and show her, look, I am innocent. My mother looked at the picture, frowned, and said, they are wrong, and threw it in the garbage. I am guilty. My first crime. I was born on the wrong day, wrong time. Second, guilt. My second crime. You see, I was a very strong baby inside the womb, in the fetus. I was kicking all the time and moving. So if you see a little being that kicks a lot, what do you think of? At least in Mexico, you say soccer. Oh, it's gonna play soccer. It's a strong, yes. And usually those who play soccer, it's changed now, but before, they're boys. So of course, strong baby, I was a boy, thought my mother and father. So they picked a name for me. They picked Emiliano. Emiliano, to honor our revolutionary leader, Emiliano Zapata. We do that a lot. Now you have to understand, in Spanish, we have feminine and masculine. O for masculine. So when I was born, It turned out I didn't have something in between my legs. It turned out I was a girl. But it was very simple. Instead of calling me Emiliano, they could have called me Emiliana. And it's a beautiful name, Emiliana. But no, it didn't happen. So for 2 days, I did not have a name at all. Until my mother will explain to you. Until she heard the radio. Somebody was listening to the radio in the hospital. And she heard the anchor person going crazy about Valentina Tereshkova is flying around the moon. Valentina Teresh. Yes, that is how I got my name. And I love it. It's a strong name. But you have to agree with me that I was very fortunate. Because if that radio had been playing some kind of commercial, I could be called Coca-Cola or Tootsie Roll or I don't know, maybe Fruity Loops, cornflakes. I'm a lucky woman. Mm-hmm. So my second crime was I was born a girl. You know, nobody's perfect. But I still have one more. I have a beautiful grandmother, very Mexican, very, very Catholic. And she is so happy that her first granddaughter has come to the world. She had a grandson, but not a daughter. So she is totally ecstatic. But she's very confused because the baby does not have a name. And then the parents of the baby, my mother and father, had decided that she would not be baptized. But you know, grandmothers, they always succeed in whatever they want to do, right? So my mother will explain to you that I was stolen by my grandmother from the crib room. And this is a very big hospital. My grandmother took me to the basement where there was a little Catholic chapel. And I don't know how she did it, but she convinced the priest to baptize me. I am very thankful because I have all the paperwork necessary in case I want to go to heaven. You never know. But you have to agree with me. It is a little strange to be baptized without a name and without godparents, but it is what it is. And birthday parties, you know, celebrations of birth, I didn't have a lot, no. I had one. My mother invited, when I was about 8 years old, invited 3 little friends from school over to the house. And she bought this amazing chocolate cake. It had hard chocolate on top and a little house made out of chocolate. And I remember crying. I cried so much to please, please not cut the cake. I wanted to keep it forever. We negotiated and I got to keep the little house. I can still remember the smell of that little house among my toys. We ate the cake. And now I am an adult. So I can have as many parties as I want. Not on New Year's Eve, not on the last day of the year, because then people really don't show up or get very drunk. I have my parties whenever. But more than parties, what I really like is my space capsule. Because when things get a little confusing, a little hard on my heart, I go into my space capsule. I sit on the couch and look out through that huge window and I see the stars. I see the Milky Way. I can see the moon. As a friend, we can even talk. And I am very, very grateful that I have learned to build my own safe space, regardless of being a criminal when I was 3 days old. Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh, what fun, Valentina. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so beautifully crafted. Thoroughly loved it. Oh, you are a very lovable criminal, I must say. Opening it out to the audience. Anybody wants to share your thoughts? Yes, Debjani, please go ahead. You're on mute, Deb.
Yeah, Valentina. I have become your huge fan. What a lovely crafting, and your sense of humor is Love you from this part of the world.
Thank you.
Thanks, Debjani. Anybody else? And thank you for giving us that idea, that thought that each one of us can create our own spacecraft. I loved it. I think, and I also realize, as you said it, the need for it, the importance of it, to have that little cozy space where we can, go in whenever we want, just be ourselves, be happy with ourselves, and then come out when we are ready for the world once again. So thanks for that thought, Valentina. Very beautiful that was.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if you can hear me. My microphone is
Lavanya, can you be louder? Can't hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's clearer now. Thanks.
Oh, okay. I have not been able to unmute all through the session, so thanks. So luckily, Valentina, I'm able to unmute now. So as always, this is one of I can never say one of the best stories because I've had a chance to work with Valentina over another production, and there she brought a story that blew our mind, and that was about her menopause. You all should listen to that story sometimes. I don't know how, with each story, Valentina opens, one part of the door to our hearts and makes us think so much. Today, your safe capsule is something that I think, like what Pratigya said, we're going to carry it with us and, help us remember that, all right, you have your own space capsule, and the key to that is in your hands. So just open it and go sit there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I have learned how to craft stories from you. She's been a mentor when we were working together also. Love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lavanya. Miss you.
Same here.
Thanks for that, Lavanya. Jean, I think we'll take one last one before we move to the last teller. Yes, Jean, please go ahead.
Valentina, I love how you said that when things are hard on your heart and you can retreat into the space capsule, and how you told us that beautiful story behind it, and the name, your name, Valentina. And perhaps your mother could have chosen a very different one, but thank heavens she was listening at that time to the space odyssey of the Russian cosmonaut. So, but thank you, as everyone said, for that crafting of your story. So much within it.
Thank you, Jean. Love you.
Thanks for those lovely words, Jean. With that, thank you once again, Valentina, for the beautiful story. Moving on to our final storyteller, we have Denise McCormack from New Jersey. Welcome, Dennis. Please introduce yourself fully and share a story with us.
Thank you. Good morning. It's been lovely waking up, which I am still waking up to, listening to all of your stories. Valentina, I met you years ago now, pre-pandemic. I believe it was at the National Storytelling Network conference in California. So I appreciate seeing you again. All right. I'm going to take off my glasses. The headphones are off so that you can see me and I'm not giving you bug eyes. The story that I'm telling is related to the earth, to the environment, to at the interconnected web, which is what I was given to believe that the theme revolves around this year. And I hope that this story meets that for you. And indeed, it reflects, for me anyway, animism. This story I had heard initially from Canadian English storyteller Ruth Tong through a recording, and I'm going to share it with you in similar fashion, but not exactly the same as the way that I heard it. And after you hear the story, I will give you a little bit more information because when I find a story I love it to death and research it and try to look for its layers, and then it stays with me. This story is called The Wonderful Wood. Once there was a wonderful, wondrous wood, and all the people thereabouts were afeard of it, even the king himself, because of the wondrous sovereign oak tree that lived within. Now the king was a vile and wicked man, and his chief occupation was to hunt down young maids. And after he found them and had his wicked way with them, he would run them through and through with his steely blade. And so all of the mothers and all of the fathers would send their darling dears away if they could. But there was one young maiden whose mother was too poor to send her away. And so she kept the girl hidden in their small cottage by that wood. And the two would gather up wool and card it and twist it. And on market days, the old woman would go to town and she would sell what they had made to procure what they needed. And in this way, they lived a very tidy and happy life. But it happened that one day, the old woman, the mother, was struck ill, and she could barely get her creaky old bones out of bed. And now she couldn't go to market, could she? And she had to send her poor daughter in her stead. And so she dressed up the girl in a voluminous cloak and armed her with both the basket of skeins and stern advice. Do not walk through the wood. Go quietly, gently, around the wood to the marketplace. Do not disturb the wonderful wood, and be ever vigilant in your journey. And so the girl left her mother's house, and she began to walk. And she did as her mother said, knowing full well that she should not go into that wood, but walk carefully, quietly, all the way around to get to the marketplace. She hadn't gone very far when up ahead in a distance, she saw the king and his faithful men. She stopped in her tracks. She couldn't go back. She couldn't go forward. What was left for her to do? She turned and she walked into that wood. She walked through the wood where the oaken tree stood, and curtsy did she to the oaken tree, and it let her go down to the town, and luck it went with her all up and down from the wood. The wood, the wonderful, wonderful wood. And that was all right, wasn't it? But now, just as surely as the girl had seen the king and his men, they had seen her. And the king, consumed with his bloodlust, immediately gave the reins to his steed and tightened its girth and set sail across that landscape to the wood himself, thinking, if she can go into that wood, then so shall I. He rode through the wood where the oaken tree stood, and cursed did he the oaken tree. And he drew his sharp blade for to murder the maid. But a bough, it fell quick and broke it his neck. In the wood, the wood, the wonderful, wonderful wood. And that was okay too, wasn't it? But now his men were not far behind. And they saw what had become of their royal liege. And they too rode into that wood to seek vengeance. They rode through the wood where the oaken tree stood to cut down that tree, the oaken tree. But the tree gave a groan and summoned his own. The trees closed about, and they never got out of the wood. The wood, the wonderful, wonderful wood. And that was okay, wasn't it? That is the end. I'm sorry there isn't any. Oh, wait a minute. There is more. There is more. Sing it with me. Sing it with me. From the wood, the wood, the wonderful, wonderful wood. Well, for those of you who did sing, thank you very much. I wanted to share with you because I said that this connected, or I connected with this very strongly. And the reason is that I looked up the history of this story, which I didn't find too much of. So I looked up the history of the trees in England. And it seems that those of us here in America, in the United States, we have never had the privilege of seeing a wise old tree because they've all been cut down. But in England in the 1500s, there's recorded to be a tree that was so broad and wide that it cast a shadow a mile off. And the reason that people were afraid to go into the woods or forests, the oldest ones where those wise old trees lived, is because at their age, some of their limbs were creaky and loose and might come down at any moment. So there was a risk of death going into the forest, even as that might be where herbs and foods and the game that someone might be hunting for would be found. There were both things that lived together, both the abundance that was there and also the danger. And so there was cultivated, which we know around the world in every culture, a great respect for nature. And this is just a small example of that. I'm done.
Thank you, Dennis. I mean, so melodiously told. Of course, you sang beautifully, but the whole story was also told very melodiously. Loved the way you shared the story. Really loved it. Opening it up to the audience. Anybody wants to share their thoughts?
It was so soothing, right, Pratik?
Debjani, louder, please.
It was so soothing, like the end, like I was feeling like she should go on, and it was like a balm to my heart and my ears. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thanks, Debjani. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? I think what I loved about today's evening is every story had a song, and every song was so different from the other and yet so connected to their own stories. Beautiful way to wrap up today's session, I guess. Thank you so much once again, Dennis. We seem to be wrapping up just on time, and Eric will be very happy with that.
Okay, thank you, Pratigya, the wonderful hosting, and thank you for all the storytelling.